In this lesson, we'll review a math question from the problem solving section. We're on page 652, question 7 out of 8. Before the grid and start, we know this is a moderate to difficult problem. And I've summarized it here, but if you can read along in the book, we have Edna and Nancy walk for 4 hours, total hours. Edna walks due east at an average rate of 4 kilometers per hour. Nancy walks due north at an average rate of 3 kilometers per hour. And the question says, what is the straight line distance between them at the end of the 4 hours? If you've ever taken any cognitive test and any type of reasoning test, this is such a common question. And it's really testing your principles of familiar shapes. And I know maybe you've learned the distance formula in school. I never want you to use it on the test. The best way is to make a right triangle. So we know that they are at the same point. They leave, I omitted that when I was reading it. They left the house of a common friend. They started at the same point and they walked for 4 hours. So let's start with Edna. They started this common point right here. Let's say that's the house. Edna walks due east at an average rate of 4 kilometers. So remember, 4 hours, 4 kilometers, due east. Edna now is going to be 4 times 4. She's going to be 16 kilometers east of the house at the end of the 4 hours. Now we have Nancy walking due north, and I know it's really not drawn on this scale because I don't have enough room, but she walks for the same 4 hours, average rate of 3 kilometers. So 4 times 3, that's going to be 12, and this is Nancy. And again, at the end, we want the straight line distance. So we want this line. We've made a familiar shape. We've made a right triangle. And you could, at this point, use Pythagorean theorem, right? A squared plus B squared. You could do 12 squared plus 16 squared equals C squared. But about half the time on the test, I'm just going to tell you, check for 3, 4, 5. It comes up about half the time. Now, not the exact 3, 4, 5, but remember with the ratio, when you're expanding it, as long as you multiply by the same factor, you don't really, it'll still work. So if you could identify 3, 4, 5, we've got 12. That's the small side. So what if we multiply that by 4, right? That's a factor of 4. 4 times 4, that same 4, is 16. And then 5 times 4 is 20. You could also, again, use your calculator. I'm just trying to save you a little bit of time. But the answer here is 20. Testing, making a familiar shape. It's a really common cognitive question, reasoning-based question. Make a right triangle. All right, the answer here is 20. E. See you next time. Thanks for watching.